Now, Light of Promise says whenever you gain life, the creature that's equipped to gains that many counters. So now it's an 8/8. But now that it is an 8/8, attacks, and then it's a 16/16 and a 32/32. Hello YouTube, Overcomers Fine Dane. Today we are going to have a look at Lightpaws Emperor's Voice in Historic Brawl. This deck aims to win by playing the commander and following a Voltron style game plan by playing auras from the hand, casting them, and then you can attach any aura with the same or less mana cost from your deck directly onto Lightpaws. So, how does this exactly work? I mean, again, as I said before, you cast, for example, a Rune of Sustenance. That's a 2-mana aura. Or you could cast an Heliod's Punishment. That's also a 2-mana aura, right? And then you can search for any 2-mana aura from the deck and attach it to Lightpaws. This specifically needs to be attached to Lightpaws. For example, if you search for, like, you have a Curse of Silence that triggers, and you can search for a where is it? Glaring Aegis, right? But for example, if you start out with a Cartouche of Solidarity or a Glaring Aegis, and then you search for Curse of Silence, that does not work, right? Because it has to be attached to Lightpaws, and Curse of Silence can only be attached to a player. And I mean, you can search for Demotion, but then you're demotioning your own Lightpaws, and that's also kind of not great. So yeah. The whole game plan is play Lightpaws, play auras, and then just make Lightpaws extremely huge, extremely quickly, because you can always search for like certain cards that you want, give it flying, draw cards, and some cards just give you an insurmountable amount of card advantage. Conviction is one of those, because you play 2-mana aura, you can search for a Conviction, now you have a Conviction on the field. What does that mean? That means you return it to hand, play it again, search for anything. Return to hand, play it again, search for anything. And that is just extremely amazing. Because this deck like wants to be able to search all the auras with all the other auras, I'm not including like any 4-mana auras in this deck. Also because this deck really, like, a 3-mana aura, you're not going to necessarily play that when you have 3 mana, because then you're not holding up your protection spells to protect Lightpaws. So yeah, it's like a 4-mana aura is like usually more of a turn 5, turn 6 play, and I think that's a bit too late for this deck. Some things to note here. There are not that many auras actually available that you can even play for Lightpaws. So just like future sets, printing more and more auras will just help this deck immensely. So I filled the slots with obviously protection spells. We also have some like protection cards like Hope of Ghirapur or Ranger Captain of Eos. This can just search for example, a Selfless Savior to give Lightpaws indestructible, crack in the opponent's upkeep, prevent them from casting stuff, like all sorts of goodness. And then we have some spicy tech with Leyline of Sanctity, because Lightpaws is usually the only creature in our field, and edict effects, for example, things that say target player sacrifices a creature, those basically get around all our protection spells, and that's where Leyline of Sanctity kicks in, and they can't target us, and thus like helping there. They can also not Thoughtseize us while this is on the field, so that's a nice bonus as well, but this is mainly against edict effects. Another thing we have to fight those effects is we have token generators, 2 of them. Whereas Valor like creates it when the creature leaves the battlefield, which is not what we want. If we have a 1-mana, we can search for Cartouche of Solidarity, creating a token, and then if we need another token, we can search for Nurturing Presence, and this is actually just there to create a token, right? And with these tokens, we can sacrifice these to certain effects. I mean, we also have Squire's Devotion creating 1/1 vampire, right? So we have some ways of creating tokens and then being able to sacrifice them. But again, like if we play Lightpaws and can't create a token at the same time, Leyline of Sanctity has our back if it is in our starting hand. Yeah, this is basically it for the deck tech. Hope you enjoy the upcoming gameplay, and let's go. We are ready to play against Satoru Umezawa, and how annoying is Ashbringer for them? Who knows? The good thing here is we can shut off their commander pretty easily here, which is pretty great. I assume that they are on a like a cheat big things into play game plan here. I think I will just try to reprobation their commander. And then now that is disabled, and we play the Selfless Savior, and next turn we can play Light Paws. Rogue class, that's interesting tech. Yep, and now Light Paws gets countered, that is fine, but it is what it is, right? Ooh, it doesn't get countered. So yeah, now we hold up Adamant Will. We can Valor of the Worthy here, but I do want to hold up double protection for Light Paws. Sure. Thinking if I should use the Adamant Will versus the Selfless Saver. Let's use the Adamant Will. The Selfless Saver is free. Do I want to play around Edict effects with the Cartouche? Interesting. The most damage is the combo of Aegis into Solid Footing, giving basically 4 power and toughness. Yeah, I think I'm going to Cartouche, giving Light Paws first strike, playing around Death Touch, and also playing around Edict effects. So yeah. Commit, sure. Let's put it into the command zone. So against commit on stuff like that, I would have searched for. Let's put it into command zone actually. I would have searched for the escape aura. That is a pretty good card here. Yep. And I'm going to attack with all, giving them the chance to block with Satoru here, to let it go to the command zone. They don't do that, because they are limited on mana here, and this is a legendary, so they get mana off of the Smogs, but currently they can't do that. Memory. Oh yes, that is amazing for us. And I assume that we can just win off of that, right? Yeah, there are some disgusting things we can do here. SRAM. We Rune of Sustenance here, right? And we are searching for Conviction, because we don't actually have that many auras right now. And I think with Selfless Saver and Alcid I'm safe enough that I can just keep double protection up only. So I'm going with Cartouche of Solidarity. Going into a... I dare say Solid Footing. Okay, because that makes Light Paws basically have 7 power. GG. We are ready to play against the mirror match. Light Paws versus Light Paws. And the most important thing here is something to protect our own Light Paws from the opponent's auras that disable our Light Paws, and something to disable their Light Paws. Thing is, we have a God's Willing and a Mox Amber, which I do like. Yeah, guess that is our game plan. Going to play Mox Amber now as well. And Esper Sentinel is pretty great. Oh boy. Light pause, and I think I'm just going to play the solid footing out here. If they try to disable it, I'm fine with that. But if they actually disabled, like, more power would be a Glaring Aegis right now. But if the Auras falls off, I'm going to be very glad that I chose the Sentinel's Eyes that I can bring back from the graveyard. Could have attached to the Esper Sentinel as well. Yeah, that might have been a better play then. So yeah, the Light Pause Mirror is pretty miserable, honestly. Yeah, I should have for sure. I think I'm. No, I need to do this now. Basically, yeah. I don't want to give them the chance to have protection spells up. So yeah, Light Pause, and now we get to search for a. Maybe I should have done this first. Right, no, if it has protection from white, that wouldn't have worked. So yeah, we are going to search for a Conviction. That gives us the ability to return the Conviction to our hand in their end step. And we can do all sorts of cool stuff with that. Fragmentize, are you going to pay up? They are. Yeah, Fragmentize, that is a tech card against the mirror. Like, you want to play these kinds of cards in the mirror. Oh, I'm going to... Oh, this is so tempting. So tempting. So I would lose the Conviction here. But I would actually just kill their Light Pause here with the God's Willing. But I assume that they have protection anyway, so I don't think it is worth it. Well, they didn't have the protection, so yeah, I could have blown them a bit out here. So yeah, wait, nope. Interesting. Yeah, giving this pro white is a bit, you know, because now if we play a Detention Vortex here, if we can't really search something out because it has protection from white, but the Sentinel's Voice is pretty great because we can flash that in to. Wait, they're What? You know you can't just pay 3 to remove this, right? I mean, apparently they don't. That is, I mean, sure. Oh, they want to immediately get the bonus here. I get it. Okay, they want to get the search off of the Light Pause immediately. Sure. I think that is reasonable. I was testing here if I was basically testing here if like the trigger would not work, but I mean, it doesn't make sense. If the trigger's already in the stack, it happens, right? Let's see. Can I try to kill the opponent next turn? I mean, I can get damn close to it, right? They attack, sure. My turn. And now Conviction. Give you flying. Sure, I'm intending to return this Conviction to hand. So yeah, Angelic Gift, give flying. Oh, there is another land. I'm going to buff the Sentinel, so they have a harder time like paying. And Let's see, let's see. I feel like I want to have a cartouche. Just some first strike action going on. Yep. Was there a world where I would have had lethal? No, I think I was always just a bit, tiny bit off. Because we didn't have the solid footing in the deck anymore. Chromater's Blessing is just really good. Yep. Removing the Angelic Gift. I do like that play. I think it is a pretty good one. Target creature gets into if it's enchanted creature or enchantment. Yeah. What do they target? I mean, if they're just targeting the conviction, that I win, right? Yeah, it's the gift. Yeah, thought so. Thought so. Spectral Steel, sure. What are you searching? I still have some flying. Like, I can... Yeah, I still have flying, so... Yeah, you're dead, opponent. Because there is another flying 2-mana aura here that I can play. So yeah, you're dead. Because, yep, search, and I think, so I know is this giving flying? No, this is not giving flying, this is just creating flying spirits, but Skyblade's Boon gives flying, so, yep, that is the game. GG! Wow, the Lightpaws Mirror, nice. We are ready to play against the vehicle Orzhov Greasefang. That's the guy. That is the guy. I feel like I want a bit more protection here. Let's see. Yeah, that absolutely classifies as a bit more protection. Nice, nice. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, perfect. Drew the land. Hope of Ghirapur turn 1. Then we lock them out of casting non-creatures for a bit. Yep. Do like that quite a lot. Yeah. Do we just crack the hope now? Yeah. We just incentivize them to go for creature plays here. And then when it goes to our turn, they can like theoretically do something in our upkeep, but we can just reset shelter or like Sheltering Light instead. Would love to draw like a 2-mana aura. I really want to keep up protection throughout the whole game. I don't want to give them any anything. So yeah, I'm just not going to play anything. Because they could have just like played something. I feel like they have some flash stuff. Yeah, I'm just super cautious here. And if they like only have a single removal spell here, right, a 3-mana removal spell, I'm just going to Teferi's Protection to then you know what? I'm going to Protection anyways. Yeah, this protects Lightpaws throughout their turn as well. So I really think this is a pretty great play then. Oh, look at the top 5. Land and or instant or sorcery. So yeah, land, elemental, protection. Great, thank you very much. Oh no, extinction event. You know what? I'm going to do this. Going to the mana efficient thing. I'm going to bait them into using the event, right? And I'm going to do the age-old classic of searching for a draw engine here, and that draw engine is obviously, where is it? Conviction. I have the 1 mana, right? And I either can use the 1 mana for a protection spell here, but more likely than not they're going to use the extinction event, and then I can use that 1 mana to just bounce the conviction instead. Right? And then I'm going to replay Light Paws with protection backup as well. Okay. So now
I just want to get in, get out, and finish the job.
They're targeting Light Paws, so yeah. Protection from black, please. Thank you. Don't need you. So the 2-mana Mana Rocks are in this deck against need to get rid of this. The 2-mana Mana Rocks are in the deck against like just to have this like turn 3 Light Paws play with more protection backup. I'm thinking, how much do I want to overextend into this? It's interesting, right? Like I could try to go for lethal next turn with a Ranger Captain play as well, but I don't think I'm quite there yet. So yeah, just going to pass the turn. I'm going to bounce the Conviction, and then I'm going to put counters onto the Crawling Barrens. And that's how I'm trying to beat them. Okay, Ganjo, sure, make my land drops. This is very, very tricky. Because I know they have something, right? Okay, I'm forcing them. No, you know what? I'm just attacking, just growing the Crawling Barrens. This might just this might be a game that just wins with the Crawling Barrens. Yeah, Settle the Wreckage is actually quite expected there. And that is also a perfectly fine card here. Yes, search for basics. So now we put Light Paws back, play it, force the Extinction Event. Right, so now they're just Path of Peril. Nope, that is going to get indestructible here. Oh, Shadow Spear, not what we want. Just land drops is actually what we want here to protect against their removal. I'm not sure why they're playing Greasefang. They currently haven't shown anything that makes me... I think I'm supposed to keep the Sigiri's Shelter here for sure. But I need to do conviction things here. Quite tricky, quite tricky. Honestly, I'm just going to swing in with the Crawling Barrens. Yep. And hit you for 6. And I'm going to creep my removal spell for this Crawling Barrens. Born to Drive. Interesting. They double block, I'm just going to Adamant Will. And then I still have the Sigiri's Shelter. Yep. Adamant Will. Just to show them the protection spell that they already know about. Now if they assume I have a bit more protection here, they're just going to Extinction Event, but they can also just instant speed Extinction Event for even. That is a big problem with the Immersion Zone. We do have enough mana for that as well. Oh, yep, sure. But it enters the battlefield or attacks. Right. So that's a huge problem actually. So I want to be able to have 11 mana up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Because Light Paws, Sagiri Shelter, no, Sagiri Shelter doesn't protect, right? But like enough toughness to survive the Sovereign with a Conviction, and also use a Ranger Captain. I could have... I think it's pretty valuable to put them down to 10 here, right? But I think next turn I'm just going to set up a Ranger Captain with a protective creature, like a Dauntless Bodyguard, protecting the Ranger Captain, and then being able to... like, I'm protecting the Ranger Captain to be able to crack the Ranger Captain in their upkeep. Oh yeah, I'm going to play a Savior here first, then a Captain. Ordering matters. Captain now. Yep. Search for a creature with mana value 1 or less, sure. Then we are just actually passing the turn. I just want to play around this Extinction Event. The problem is I really can't with the Emergence Zone. That's the thing, I can't. This Emergence Zone makes things awkward. But here's the thing, if they... I'm very, very close to lethal actually. Because like I can, if I activate this a bit more, grow this till it like can kill the opponent. That is quite threatening. Oh yeah, well they just do that and they die. Oh, sure, okay. What else do they have? Because they're in trouble right now. Because I can't just do this, activate, right? And threaten lethal here, and I have a protection spell up. Does that work? I'm gonna try it. I think it works, right? Good game? Good game. I think it works because this is a white card, right? Yeah. If this was one of the lands with channel, like Eiganjo Seed of the Empire, this wouldn't have worked because these are technically colorless. But holy moly, that was a really grindy one. GG. We are ready to play against Muldrotha of the Gravetide. And yeah, I think this hand is workable. Sure, we can work with this. So start out on Esper Sentinel. And we have to see how this works out. Okay. So this Light Paws has to stick, and if it does, we are in amazing shape. And then we draw another land, and then we are in even more amazing shape. Okay. Detention Vortex does block mana abilities. So let's do exactly that. And I think, do I want to play around removal? Do I want to get the most possible damage long term? Yeah, let's make a big Light Paws. Work towards that. Give you indestructible, swing in. Okay, perfect. And yeah, Replicating Ring, sure. We draw a card off of that. That is amazing. Yup. Oh, and there is a land. And now the things start happening because we give lifelink to Light Paws. with the Squire's Devotion. Now that Light Paws has lifelink, the disgusting card to get here is Light of Promise. Now we swing him with everyone. Now, Light of Promise says whenever you gain life, the creature that's equipped to gains that many counters. So now it's an 8/8. But now that it is an 8/8, attacks, and then it's a 16/16 and a 32/32. And yeah, they give us a card with the Esper Centaur. They barely played any cards here, and we're going to just kill them on turn 4. Oh well. Yep, that is how we roll here. Or did I miss a light drop? No, I didn't, right? So Esper Centaur into Light Paws into... Yeah, okay, it's turn 5. I think it's turn 5. Or turn 5. Yeah. Holy moly, though. Holy moly. Okay, we're going to make the most massive Light Paws you will ever see. Well, no. If you play this deck, you're going to see a massive Light Paws on a regular basis if the opponent does not have interaction. Okay, they decide if they want to scry to top or bottom. Seems like a difficult decision. Let's see. Maybe they're just roping, you know, but usually I like to think that they're thinking about their decision. Or maybe they're just like, oh, I don't have any triggers left, and then they went to do something, and then they come back and it's like, oh, I hold priority because of the Cosmos Elixir, because, you know, they changed that card in Historic Brawl. Could also be a possibility. Anyways, let's see. They should have no more timer here. Yep. And now it goes to my turn. So yeah, anyways, Gauntlets of Light on Light Paws. Now, huge, massive Light Paws swinging in with a all that glitters on it. Boom. For good measure, Karametta's Blessing. Swing in. 1919 Light Paws swinging in. To get 19 life from that, putting 19 counters on it, and wow, that was massive. GG. We are done with the games. I hope you enjoyed them as much as I did. And yeah, Light Paws Emperor's Voice is indeed a very powerful Voltron commander for Historic Brawl. So, yeah, there are a couple of things with this deck that I quite like. One thing is that this deck will just get better and better the more auras get released, because you can just search them, and it just needs one broken aura, and you will always be able to search for it, right? To really go off with Light Paws. The things to look out for is when we get a cheap aura that gives hexproof or indestructible, that is like the turning point for the deck, and is just absolute insanity will ensure, basically. So yeah, watch out for those cards when they do eventually get released, right? Overall, the deck plays pretty nice, and it is also a great budget option. In fact, it is, I think, one of the absolute best budget decks to get into the format of Historic Brawl. Because here's my reasoning: basically all the auras are commons and uncommons, basically all of them, right? So now that leaves you with the filler cards, because these are almost all the auras we can have access to. And like, I have a lot of filler cards, for example, Tocatli Honor Guard and Hushbringer. I wouldn't necessarily play them, like they work out in this deck, but I wouldn't necessarily play them, right? They're basically filler because I just didn't know what to put else to put in there. And like you need all of these just because like you need the critical mass, but they are just commons and uncommons, right? So let's go through the cards. Mox Amber I think I would absolutely craft here because it is an absolute staple and an absolute beast in this deck. You drop Mox Amber, drop Light Pulse on 2, have a 1/1 protection spell up. It is just amazing. Curse of Silence, I would craft it as well because it is a staple and a good interaction piece. I would craft Esper Center because it's a staple. Mana Tithe, it's a staple, not necessarily Paladin class, not a staple. Literally just craft the most used cards. Like if craft these cards based on what other decks you would play them in, and if you say, okay, I don't want to craft this because I'm not playing this ever again in another deck, then don't craft it, right? It is that simple. Like this deck is just extremely budget friendly. Shout out to SRAM and Core Spirit Dancer though. They are insane, like absolute massive engines, especially as you saw when the potential there with a Conviction on the field as well. Draws you so many cards, so you kind of want these. Those are basically the most important like non-stable cards, but other than that, you just replace the lands with basics. If you're not running Faceless Haven, just replace these snow-covered plains with normal plains to play around snow-covered basic land hate, aka Redain, and you should be good to go. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know at least I did, and if you did as well, just leave me a like, comment, subscribe to the channel, all the fun stuff, and yeah, I will see you in the next video, and hope you enjoyed the release of Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. I'm excited to brew. Like, this set is absolutely cracked.